Welcome, everyone. I am John Ryan, and this is the Predictive Playbook Major League Baseball Angle of the Day. These are quick hitting segments that I'm going to be providing each and every day. They're going to last anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes because I want to make the point very clear, concise, and not waste a lot of time. Manny's Pub is a place where we can talk for literally 60 minutes without any trouble with my guests, and that's a totally different atmosphere and equally as much fun. I am rolling pretty well in Major League Baseball for the season. I'm coming off an NBA championship season, so to speak, being number one at SportsMemo. It's the second in 3 years. Ronald Kabang was number one last year, and I was third on the list last year. So it seems NBA is going pretty well, and I'm very excited about the football season coming up. If you're interested in that, you can get highly discounted packages. I was number one in the NFL exhibition season last year, and number one in 2020 full season, hitting 65.7% against the number. Last year was a top 5 finish. Not quite good enough for number one, obviously, but we're SportsMemo and Waiter Talk, where everybody is pretty darn good at what they're doing and have been doing it for literally decades at a time. Let's get right to the system here. And what I'm going to be doing is looking at the New York Yankees, and they are 52-18. That's winning 74.3% of their games. You know, when they lose, they're a big money line favorite, and they haven't made as much money as you would expect. And my point is that teams in the month of June that have dominated their schedule, like the Yankees have, and in rather historic fashion, they were faster to 50 wins than any team in the last 20 years and faster than even themselves in 1998 when they and the Mets had such parallel great seasons for the New York City fan base. Granted, the Mets fans don't like the Yankee fans all that much, and conversely, the same for the Yankee fans, but nevertheless, that was a rather historic season in 1998, and it looks like that might be repeating because the Mets are hanging on, even though the Braves and the Phillies are starting to shrink that lead in the National League East. At the end of the day, we have a marathon of time to go yet. A lot of things can happen. And even the best teams in baseball history, the 1927 Yankees, for example, went through slumps. And I think the Yankees are prone to that. And keep in mind, over the next 10 games, you could go 4-6 fading the Yankees and come away with a nice chunk of change because you're going to be getting juicy dogs. Now, tonight's dog with the Houston Astros is not that big a dog, obviously. We have Verlander on the hill, and he's in top form. Excellent form. He's coming off one of his worst starts of the season, however, and that happens. But a Hall of Fame pitcher, a future Hall of Famer in Verlander and the Kershaw and the rest of them, they rarely have back-to-back terrible starts. And Verlander has facing the Yankees for the 31st time of his career, has an ERA below 3, has a winning record, has a winning team record against the Yankees. And do you think for a second, at least in my opinion, he's not going to come out with, guns a-blazing, so to speak, tonight in Yankee Stadium? I think he's going to bring the load. And I think the Yankees lineup, as good as they are going to be a bit overwhelmed by this future Hall of Famer. So with the betting system that we're talking about here, and this is a variation of ones that I have done throughout the month, really. You may have heard them on the shows, the Full Count show, powered by SportsMemo TV, that I host 2 or 3 or 4 days a week, depending on the schedule. I'm sure you heard one of these. But in this case, we're going to bet on dogs of 160 or lower. So anything from plus 100 to plus 160 on the money line. And the dog is starting a hot pitcher like Verlander, who has an ERA of under 3 over his last 10 starts. The opponent, in this case the Yankees, has outscored their opponents by at least 120 runs on the season. Currently, the Yankees have outscored their opponents by, let's see what it is here. They've outscored them, I don't have it in front of me, 146. They've outscored them by 146 runs, which is rather historic. There's teams that have been better, but few and far between. And that combination of 3 parameters has gone 11-7 for 61%, averaging a 133 dog and a 45% ROI. Okay, so 15-3, 83% and a 43% ROI using the plus 1.5 run line. So this is an outstanding system, and if it's a non-divisional matchup, what this is, You can see it's a little bit better, 6-2. Rather small sample size, but these all work together extraordinarily well. This has made money in each of the last 9 of 10 seasons with only one losing season, and that record was one game under 500. So this is one of the better ones of my literally over 4,000 algorithm/betting systems that I have developed over almost 3 decades of work. And this is one I feel confident in sharing with you that you can trust and track on your own. Tweet me when it does come up. I'll be sure to mention it too, but sometimes I don't get around to doing it. But feel free to mention it when it is active in any day of the month. We will be moving into July, and that will get this betting system tweaked a little bit. And I'll be doing that one on next week sometime ahead of July 1. So you can see that this is a great system. My recommendation is simply to bet on the Astros and split your wager. If you bet $100 a game, put 50% on the money line, 50% on the run line. And if you like the run line part because it's 15-3, keep in mind the ROI is the same. I can't blame you for that. You can bet the whole $100 on the plus 1.5 run line. I do think the Houston Astros are going to win tonight. That could be wrong. You can also see that it's 8-0 if it's a non-divisional, so this run line has not lost yet. It will, but it hasn't lost yet. So that'll conclude today's Major League Baseball angle today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave comments below to help me, especially make these shows more enjoyable and provide you with the information that gives you actionable sports betting information to get you to the window and get some more coins in your pockets. So until tomorrow, I'll be back again on Saturday with an MLB angle today, early in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. And until then, remember 2 simple things I always say. You can never say them enough. Bet with your heads, not over it. And may all the wins be yours. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.